Are you a low-value woman? The harsh facts. Today, we're going to answer the tough questions that you may have been wondering. Are you a low-value woman? It is possible you may not even be aware of this. Instead, the behaviors and habits that you portray and put out into the world can show others how you view yourself. Negative past experiences may have you operating out of fear that you will lose your partner to someone else, and you may engage in low-value behaviors as a way to prevent this. But before we jump into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video for more interesting content like this. Number 7. Thanks or no thanks? Has your partner ever offered you a gift or token of appreciation that you were more than willing to push to the side? Perhaps you can even remember someone complimenting you and you deflected this in some way by dismissing their kind remark. Downplaying things like this reflects more on yourself than it does on others. It tells them that you see yourself as a low-value woman. When you refuse a genuine offering from someone else, whether it be a gift or compliment, you are telling that person you do not think you are worthy of what they are offering. Receiving with grace and saying thank you when someone says they love your earrings instead of saying how old they are told that person that you believe in your self-worth. Number 6. Crazy in love. Have you been in love before? Have you been madly in love more times than you can count? If so, you may have already displayed the other trait of a low-value woman, falling in love too quickly. The issue here is not so much falling in love as much as it is falling in love with someone you have taken little time to understand and evaluate. A woman who does not see her own self-worth falls in love extremely quickly to attach herself to another person without taking the time to understand a person's character and who they are. She is essentially willing to settle for the first person to walk through the door. Here are some signs that indicate you are falling in love too quickly. This woman puts a lot of focus on the future of a potential mate without first evaluating its suitability. She is desperate for affection, like regular phone calls and texts, and becomes highly emotional, angry, or depressed when she feels she is not receiving the attention she hoped for. Moreover, there is insecurity in the relationship, and if it does end, she takes the relationship extremely personally and becomes inconsolable. The difference here is that instead of trying to learn what went wrong and how she could have played a part in the relationship's demise, once she has recovered, she moves on to the next relationship and does the same thing without trying to understand the deeper issues that played a role in the previous relationship's demise. Her goal in this case is not to understand the person or truly connect with their partner. Instead, she is constantly seeking out what it feels like to be desired or be in love. She continues to make decisions solely on her emotions and does not use any metric to determine whether or not this person is compatible with her. A woman who believes in her self-worth will be more cautious about who she falls in love with, assess her potential partner for certain traits, and take her time to get to know her partner. A person who has self-worth will not settle for the first option. Number 5. TMI, or too much information. A woman who unconsciously views herself as low value will also share too much information too quickly with people who do not deserve to know. One example would be letting the new person in their romantic life know about how she has been hurt in the past by other men. The reason some women do this is to signal to their potential partners how they would prefer to be treated. That is, not like they have been treated before. However, a woman cannot only use past issues as a way to indicate how their partner should act moving forward. Essentially, she is bringing forward her emotional trauma to the current person and asking them to make up for someone else's mistakes from her past. If you go out on a first date with someone and have already listed all the reasons all your relationships failed in the past, you are already putting a huge amount of pressure on the current person to surpass your already high expectations. Expectations themselves are not a bad thing. The issue is assigning the person who is only now getting to know you as your emotional manager or therapist. By sharing all of this information with someone who has not taken the time to get to know you or invest in you, you are asking that person to return what you feel other people have taken away from you. Do you share too much information or think sharing a lot is a good thing? Comment below and let us know. A woman who values herself works on herself and her emotional issues and trauma with a professional who can give her the proper advice and coping skills to properly deal with it. She is responsible for working towards emotional and mental health that will directly impact her self-worth, and when these emotional wounds have been healed, she will be less likely to share her most intimate details of herself with anyone and be more selective in how she shares information about her personal life. Number 4. Bedroom blues. Picture being on another date with your potential partner. Everything seems good with this person. They are funny and kind. They like long walks on the beach, just like you. You tell your friends you are ready for the next step, being physically intimate. You confess this to your friends and they say, "No way." Or maybe you are on your second date and you hope to get more physical later, but you stop yourself, saying you are not ready, but meaning that now is not the right time to do it. Has this ever happened to you? In both examples, you are reluctant to give up your body, which is what society tells you is the prize or reward for the other person. However, this is the belief of a low-value woman. If a woman is bargaining her body for something in exchange, then she is reducing her worth to sex, as she believes that she will lose her self-respect by becoming intimate with someone too early in the relationship. A woman becomes low value when she allows others to determine her worth based on random metrics made by external influences. A woman's worth does not lie with her physical attributes, but in knowing that her body belongs to her, and she can choose to do what she wishes with it without others telling her when and how she should have intimate experiences. Whether you choose to have different partners or have no partners at all for the next decade, it is your choice, and the prize for anyone else should be considered as you committing to that person to share your life and happiness with, and not just your body. Number 3. You look good. Feel free to exchange good with any other adjective someone has told you in the past. Now, while there is no problem with someone giving their opinion, a low-value woman takes this a step further by constantly asking what others think of her and seeking validation, as she is insecure about herself and her identity. A low-value woman functions in her life from a place of fear. Fear that she will be cheated on, fear that she may be left alone, fear that she does not look good enough. While it is perfectly fine to have doubts about yourself or your relationship, a low-value woman constantly refers to her disappointments and asks her potential partner how they would define the relationship for her to feel more secure. The relationship, romantic or otherwise, consumes her to the point that her own self-worth and happiness are tied to the failure or success of this relationship. What's more, this striving for constant approval from the other person can be tiring for them, and a side effect can be that they feel they are being pushed away. She is telling her partner that she is dependent on him for her happiness. Number 2. Bad behavior. Have you tolerated being ignored when someone doesn't respond to your messages? Other examples would include noticing anger issues from the person having a pattern or bad habit of not keeping their word or not showing up when they need to. This person is not dependable, and yet, despite this bad behavior, a low-value woman would continue to give this person the time of day. They make excuses, trying to wiggle their way out of holding the other person accountable for their actions. A low-value woman doesn't love herself enough to understand she is worth more than someone who does not prioritize her or her time. Someone else will only continue this behavior with a low-value woman because, apart from making excuses, she allows that person to treat her with no respect. The sad thing is, she may not even believe she is worth that respect. Number 1. Putting yourself last. Although giving is a good and noble thing to do, low-value women give too much of themselves and then are left with nothing. They prioritize the other person's every need above their own. There are lots of instances where you may have given too much instead of trying to compromise. You prioritize their plans over yours, even canceling your plans to accommodate them. You are intimate with them even if you don't want to be. You do something because they asked, even when you don't really want to do it at all. You prioritize their family and friends over your own. You are always available and there are no exceptions. A low-value woman makes concession after concession to appease the other person in the hopes that the person will feel indebted to them or make them more loyal. The truth is, there is no relationship between these two things. Doing more for a person will not make them more loyal to you, and if the person is not in a healthy emotional place to receive freely, they may not even return the same gestures you have been offering to them. What's more, the other person may lose respect for you and will eventually take you for granted. At the end of the day, a low-value woman cannot truly give anything meaningful if she does not view herself as worth something first. A woman with value would have no problems giving, but understands that she is doing it out of love and a desire to give instead of doing it expecting something in return. She becomes more selective in her giving, and this becomes more meaningful to other people who understand that she is not willing to do that for anyone. So, are you a low-value woman? At the end of the day, every woman has value. What matters most is that you understand that you have this value and can love and accept yourself for who you are. With this understanding, your perspective of your worth may change from very little to a lot. If you do not truly believe it, then you are doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again and will push others away without truly understanding why. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Check out the next video here and I will see you in the next one.